Welcome back to the iPause Technical Support Service Facility. I'm Al Kenyon. I'm iPause Customer Support Branch Chief. On my right is Regina Hawkins, who's the Operations Manager. And on my left, Jen Myers, who's the Training and Exercise Lead. So we're going to guide you through a few things here with the Technical Support Services. Don't call it TSSF because it ticks everybody off. I noticed that. What are we? This facility is kind of a one-stop shop for alerting authorities, according to my handy-dandy crib notes. Provide technical assistance with live and test alerts. We troubleshoot errant alerts and status codes. Provide resource development, user account management, training, end-to-end demonstration capabilities. We have all these wonderful boxes here behind us. There are probably about a dozen EAS devices of various flavors in the room here they've been very well behaved this morning. I think they unplugged them to keep them from squawking. Provide guidance and best practices for practitioners. It's a hands-on training facility. You can send alerts and see and hear the actual results right here in one room. We do interactive seminars, workshops. It's on the screen up there, but I can't read it the same as reading down here. So just give me a break. We're going to keep this loose. We have interactive seminars, conferences, and workshops. Focused exercises including tabletop, functional, and evaluated exercises, plus help you develop your own exercises. On-demand iPause education, proficiency demo support, tool and resource development and dissemination, and vendor support. Yeah, we help those guys too. So it's a one-stop shop for pretty much everything iPause, available 24/7. Just dial the 184 iPause lab number and have your credit card in. No, it's free. We're here to, we are from the government and we're here to help. Actually, so Regina, what do you want to tell us about the technical support services? I almost said TSSF.
Oh, well, I think we can talk about one of the greatest benefits to the technical support services facility. If we go over here to the next slide, I'm acting like I can change it here myself, and talk about one of the greatest benefits, right? Being able to have that live in that demonstration environment.
Yeah, because a lot of people have challenges sending alerts when they haven't practiced. Well, we kind of require you to practice. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But if you want to find out how it works, when you want to send an alert, we have a complete offline sandbox environment that you can use. You can go into your alerting tool. Most of them will give you a very clear indication whether you're in the live environment or in the test environment. You want the test environment for your practicing. By the way, anytime you're in the test environment and you're practicing, please include that it's a test message, regardless of what the message says, because if it leaks out, it's really handy to have that there to say, see, I told you it was a test message. No, it's a complete separate environment. It has the same capabilities. As far as your alerting software is concerned, you log into it, you formulate the message, you select your event code, you tell where you want the message to go. You can describe the area you want to send it to. You can send wireless emergency alerts. You can send it as an EAS message, or you can send it as a message that would go to the National Weather Service. And we have the capability through a message viewer to see what the alert would have looked like on a cell phone, and to see how the text would appear on a TV screen, and give you some indications of how the message was processed. We'll get into that a little bit more later on, but we offer this complete sandbox environment. We want you to come in and play. Bring your own diggers.
Thanks for going over that, Al. Really appreciate it. I guess we didn't mention that you're going to be getting all kinds of tips and tricks, and this is going to be a bit of an interactive session today. So get your mouse ready to do some clicking, as we've got some polls, I believe, integrated into our slides. And we're also going to be sharing some live links throughout the presentation. So if we can hop over to the next slide, please. So we're going to do a quick year in review. What was 2022, 2023? What's happened since the last iPause Users Conference? All right, here we go. It might be a little bit small on your laptop screen, so apologies there, but we've had a lot of action happening through the last year. And I must say, I joined the TSSF myself only at the end of June. So I'm really sitting here getting to boast about all of the amazing work that my colleagues have done, and really excited to say so. So to start off, we're going to be moving left to right here. 112. Can anyone guess what that number represents? If you throw it in the chat, I would like to say I'd throw out a piece of candy or something, but I don't think that that'll travel well here through the system. But 112 represents the number of new alerting authorities that we've had join the program since last July 2022. So really excited to see that. One of the updates I think we can also share with that that was allowed us to even track it more greatly is updating the iPOS user portal last December to be able to provide those digital certificates. So that's been able to really improve the way that we've been tracking systems. As we continue up to that top map on the left-hand corner there, those little, I don't even know what we want to call them, the little geographic symbols, those are representing 144 organizations that participated in iPOS tabletop exercises, and those exercises took place March and June 2023. We had over 197 participants from all representing federal, state, territorial, tribal, and local partners. And we had some really great survey evaluation data. I think, Jen, you and your team were able to collect that. All, 8.5 that the tabletops were beneficial as far as a marking, 8 out of 10 that the tabletops met those expectations. So really keep that in mind as we're going through these resources that we're able to offer here. If your teams have interest in planning out and having TSSF support through those tabletop exercises, give us a call, send us an email. We'd love to get connected to support those. We're going to keep moving. That bottom picture there, that photo, represents our cross-cultural communications discussion that also occurred in last March 2023. We had about 152 individuals representing 102 different organizations. So really proud of the way that that event was implemented and carried out, and had amazing panelists that were able to join us that day. We're so grateful for that. Now, I mentioned that we were going to have an interactive session. So I don't think anyone has actually used the polling software today or yet so far to test it out, but we went ahead and added a polling question into our presentation. So Justin or Matt, can we pull up that first polling question to get folks warmed up?
Absolutely. I'm going to launch it now.
All right, I see it on the screen. Thanks, guys. All right, and this question has to do with what you see there coming up next, the iPOS message viewer. So how many have seen or used the new iPOS message viewer? So you've got your choices. You've seen it, you've used it, or maybe it's a new feature for you. We're going to give you just a couple of seconds. Well, it's counting down from about 5 minutes. So we're going to keep moving on as people go ahead and complete that poll. We'd love to see the numbers if this is a new feature for you. One of the greatest benefits to that is being able to see the history of your message or those demo alerts past that 24-hour mark. I think was the maximum amount of time before we updated that viewer. So
yeah, the old message viewer would only go back for 24 hours in the record, and the new message viewer allows you to see the alerts that you've sent, to the iPOS lab going back a month or two. And sometimes it's very helpful to figure out exactly, well, why didn't this one work? Well, you can go back and see it and pull up more information from it. So it's been very helpful, very useful. Also, the display for the XML, the big long cap message thing, you can go in there. We had a question from someone who said, well, I sent messages and they failed. And I sent this, in that particular case, they sent a polygon. I don't even know what I was talking about, but that's not unusual in my case. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, no worries at all. Just looking at a quick number, it looks like the message viewer is a new feature for you. So hopefully you'll be able to check that out. We're always making improvements and looking forward to seeing that number rise hopefully in the future. So let's keep on moving. Another new feature, I think it popped up this summer. FEMA does have a YouTube channel. If you've not checked it out, we're going to go ahead and be able to put that link, I believe, up in the chat. But a new TSSF, and yes, I'm going to keep using it because I always splurge the TSSF actual name together with training and technical and support and services. So forgive me, it's one acronym I'm going to kind of blurt out a little bit still. However,
You're still a little there.
I am. I can play the new card still. But with a new TSSF playlist has been created on that YouTube channel, and that's where you're going to be able to find some of our video resources. And we're going to be continuing to add video resources and education material to that channel over the coming months and over the next year even. So stay tuned to that. Take a look at the link when you get a chance. The other big, I think, documentation or publication that we had, big resource for everyone, has been the iPOS Best Practices Guide. For many here at the facility, that was a labor of love. I think I'm not exaggerating by by putting it that way for folks. But we're so excited to have that published and was promoted in June. I'm taking a look over the numbers. I think we found out that we had over 2,400 views and downloads just as we ran the numbers last week. So it's gotten great traction. We want you to keep using it. Please remember, it's an evergreen document. We'll be discussing a little bit more about it in an upcoming slide, but really, really excited about that. Moving on, we also had our WIA demo app launch, and that was in July, early July, if I'm not mistaken. I just come through the door myself and jumped in and was really excited to see what the team had been doing. And we've got, as of last week, 122 user accounts for the WIA demo app. So still a very, very new tool for folks. And we're going to go over that a little bit more in an upcoming slide as well. This very, very last little map there on the top with all of those little red dots represent all of the interactions or engagements that we've had here at the facility with alerting authorities, with partners, with stakeholders over the last year. So that represents September 22 through August 23rd. We've engaged with all 50 states, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, and USVI. These are all representative of calls, of demonstrations, of emails, everything that we've had coming in. So it's been a real active year, y'all. So really appreciate it and excited to see what's to come. So, all right. So now we're just going to take a quick look over here with the best practices guide. This just came out in June 2023, I believe I had said. And just to give you an idea, if this is new for you, the best practice guide was developed to provide guidance to IPAWS alerting authorities on the effective use of emergency alerting system, the wireless emergency alerts, and non-weather emergency messages via IPAWS to issue timely and effective messages in response to threats and public safety. As we know, the effective use of alerting authority systems increases public responsiveness, reduces corrective action, and improves public trust in alerting systems and the information communicated by those systems in response to potential threats. So please note that this best practices guide, again, is a living document. We will be coming out with updated versions. I think even in the last 2 months, we've realized that there's some updates needed. So we'll just discern a cadence for that updating, and if it's going to be annual or needs to be sooner, we'll figure that out and make sure that that gets pushed out very widely to this audience here as well as others. Let's go ahead and I believe we have our second polling question coming up that we can prompt. Oh, yep, here we go. Thanks, Matt. So as a practitioner, has the best practices guide improved your ability to support your agency's IPAWS program? Again, a pretty easy yes, no, or it's a new resource for you. Going to give everyone a moment just to go ahead and collect those results and just let you know that as you get into that best practice guide, you know, we've got about 6 sections. And so it really goes over the alerting authorities' responsibilities, crafting an IPAWS alert warning and notification. It goes over the IPAWS pathways. It goes over AWN risk redistribution, alerts, warning, notifications, redistribution. Services provided by the technical support services facility are also in there just as a quick handy go guide. And a variety of annexes are included in there, which as you may all appreciate, or at least a portion of you, there is an annex for acronyms. So we'll keep you posted and updated, and we know that that one will continue to grow as well as the rest of the document with best practices. Requirements for using IPAWS, resources, and event codes are also listed there. So let's go ahead and see where our poll has landed. And if we can also, I think we've got the link for the best practices guide we can throw in the chat for you as well if it's not there yet. Oh, I got the thumbs up, it's there. So my team's already ahead of us, I love it.
To read out the results, 25% said this is a new resource to them.
Excellent. So thanks, Matt. It sounds like we've got at least a quarter of the audience going to be looking and taking a peek at that best practices guide here, maybe today or in the very, very near future. Please go ahead and save and bookmark that link in your browser. We're going to talk about another tool that we're super excited about that just launched in July. Again, the team here at the TSSF has done an awesome job at pulling together tools for y'all. This one in particular, the WIA Demo app launched 2023, the July. It's available for download on both Apple iOS and Android cellular devices. It was developed for demonstration use only for approved alerting authorities and is not available to the public. So it's specifically for those alerting authorities to test their capabilities. We actually are going to go ahead and do another polling question. I told you all it'd be interactive, just trying to keep your attention. Middle name. I know. So has the WIA demo app increased your ability to better test your agency's capabilities? Oh, this one, I guess it's merged a little with our next question. So let's go ahead and keep this one open a little bit longer. We did have a question, that second one there, which was going to be a little bit at the more like later end of our presentation, but this gives you all more time to fill it in. So if you can do a yes, no, or if it's a new tool for you for number one, the WIA demo app. And then for the second one, that should be an open character box to give you an opportunity to really collect if there are other tools or trainings that we can provide for you throughout our time here. So please go ahead and get both of those logged down. Quick review, you've got the benefits up on the screen. The tool will help you evaluate your 90 and 360 character WIAs in English and Spanish. It helps you fulfill your requirement for your iPOS monthly proficiency demonstration. Our next session will get into that a little bit more greatly. And it's, really good to train new employees or provide refresher training for the staff that you have now, brush off and freshen up those skills. And then it also can help assist or support the development of templates or operating procedures. That's maybe not the most fun part of all of our jobs, to create that documentation, those standard operating procedures, but something that's definitely needed. I'm going to pause now since this is probably a new app for most people. Matt, do you happen to have that yes, no, or just an idea of maybe where people are landing if it's a new tool?
I can take a look once the poll ends, since it's a
Okay.
filter.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Keep it open. Sorry. Yep. I forgot about that little technical feature there. Okay. Please note those users, if you are on, passwords will be expiring soon. So the TSSF will be sending out new ones. Those passwords expire quarterly. So they'll be active. We'll send you out new ones. There should be no interruption in service for you. Then we jumped ahead to say, what do we have coming up in the future? And you all heard Director Johnson this morning as he went over alerting on behalf and what that means for folks in that holistic, very large picture. So when we think about what AOB means when it comes to the actual technical support services facility, really the resulting impact of this, which is really good for us, is that it increases or enhances the security that we have. So I put a few things up on the slide here just as the what's important as a user and as in when you're going to be calling in for technical support, those things that'll be good to know and will be those, that top of the list thing. So do you have an MOA with a neighboring jurisdiction to send on your behalf? Is your iPOS open profile updated with your agency, that government email address? That's just one way we're going to be help to verify callers. That's going to become more of a consistent practice here at the facility as we take incoming calls, just ensuring that we are authenticating callers to get into accounts and whatnot. Do you know your designated authority? That may be a new term. I'm not sure that I saw it in any of the slides earlier, but it's really relating to that 24/7 point of contact for the states, tribes, and territories. So knowing who that is, especially if you're local, knowing and having that contact information handy, accessible for whatever your situation may be at the time, knowing who that POC is and how to get a hold of them. We should also have those in our system. So for then those, the states, tribes, and territories, ensuring that their POCs are updated in the iPOS portal. So that's where we go to look for information, and that's where we'll be able to pull those from. So it's a two-sided, we all need to know these things. And then do you know your unique authentication number? This is going to be something very new for y'all. And it's related to that designated authority, that state, tribal, territorial POC. Every individual that is a designated authority is going to have a unique authentication number, and those numbers will be handed out and distributed through the technical support services facility by our staff here, and you'll be able to use that as a way of your caller verification piece. So we rely on the designated authority to authenticate or verify who the local caller is or the local authority asking and needing help or assistance. And then we have to authenticate the state, tribal, or territorial level person. So I know that this seems like it's, and it is additional steps and things that you probably weren't outlined specifically before. But we were doing some of these measures already when we're talking to and verifying who you are. It's really to increase and enhance security from where we're at. We want to make sure that we are really reducing down the number of errors, the number of bad actors, any kind of risks associated with sending out live alerts. So it is for the benefit. I know it's going to be a bit of an adjustment for folks to get into the process and the procedure and understanding and getting that flow. But once it's set up, I think it's going to implement really, really smoothly. At least that's what we're hoping for. And we're here to support you all along the way. Al, do you have anything else for thinking about the facility and when it comes to alerting on behalf or anything that we might have wanted to touch on, just to reiterate from this morning even?
No, not that I could think of. I think we'll just keep on going, and we've got the next time segment, so we may just keep talking when you wind up.
That's true. That's true. So next slide. I'm losing track of time. I think I've got you guys all day to have a chat. So next slide, just what's to stay tuned. We are producing quick reference guides, and those are a byproduct of the best practices guide. So instead of having to look at that full, I think it's a 38-page document, we've taken some of the prime sections, turned them into one-pagers. We're also going to have those translated into a Spanish version and have those out the door. We're anticipating that in the very, very near future. We're going to be looking at scenario-based monthly proficiency demonstrations, and that's our next session here with Jen and Al. And then more educational videos are on the way. We're already have scripts approved and have demonstrations happening, and those live video productions scheduled here in the next days to weeks. So really excited about that. And we are making a grand appearance, as you all probably may understand or relate to, at the IAM conference in November. So really excited for that. We've got a workshop planned. I think Jen's going to be able to talk to November 5th. Our session's November 5th, and it's a workshop. That's going to be a training workshop. I don't know all the details. I'm going to leave that to Jen to get into if she'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it off. I know we're branching over time, but fortunately, we're all in the next session. So I think it'll work out well. Thanks, everybody.